Guys, before we jump into this detailed discussion of one of the most difficult mechanics I think in video game history, make sure to check out my Rocket League Mechanics Master Course, where I go over all of the mechanics in Rocket League and how you can practice them and how you can improve at them. There's a link in the description to that, and use code FLuuMP for 30% off on the entire course. All right, let's jump in. So I've said for a long time that I believe the single most difficult thing to pull off, not just in Rocket League, but really any video game, is the double flip reset with a stall. And for the longest time, I've given into the notion that this move is just impossible for the average Rocket League player like myself. Even though I don't believe that kind of thing, I've just sort of assumed that it's just not happening for me. There's just too much going on at one time for me to make a shot like this happen, and I've always just assumed that I would never be able to hit it and I would never commit the time to actually learning it. But something's happened in the past few months of my training. I know that sounds really lame, but that's kind of what I do these days. Like, I just like to go into free play, go into custom training, and just practice stuff. But anyways, since I started trying to hit the other kind of double flip reset, the one where you dodge into the ball instead of stall under it, bear with me guys, I'll explain all of this later. Anyways, ever since I finally pulled that off a few times, I've started to hit shots like this more consistently. I feel like my car control is just so much better than it used to be. I've gotten quite a few double flip resets without stalling or rapid resets, and I've even started hitting some unique flip resets and this nice little weird musty air flick thing that, I don't know, I've just been starting to go for them. Seems like the more you learn, the more you start to just try other stuff sort of instinctively. So to get into this, let's break down what a double flip reset with a stall is and why it is so difficult, how I started practicing this, and ultimately whether or not I actually was able to pull this shot off. So first, what is a double flip reset with a stall? Well, the base of this all is the regular flip reset or the traditional flip reset. You see, in Rocket League, there are all sorts of weird rules of physics that seem kind of crazy at first, but they make complete sense in the game's universe and in the game's physics. So when you jump off of the ground, you have a certain period of time before your second dodge runs out. And so in Rocket League's early days, leaving a surface at all enacted this 1.5 second timer before you lost your dodge. It didn't matter how you left that surface. That is until the Neo Tokyo update, where flying off of a surface without dodging gave you an infinite dodge timer. Basically, you could wait as long as you wanted to use your second dodge. So they added this to make Neo Tokyo a bit more fun with its nice little ramps. But after that update, this meant that if you could somehow get your car to leave a surface without using your dodge, you would now have another dodge available for an infinite time period. So players started using the ceiling to hit what we now know of as ceiling shots. But something else was discovered, something mysterious, something beautiful, the thing that we all now know of as flip resets or flip resets. So players figured out that technically the ball is a surface, just like the goal or the ground or the ceiling, and if you could somehow get your car to touch the ball with its wheels the way that it does any other surface and then fall off of that surface without jumping, you would also have an infinite dodge available. Hence, we moved into the era of the flip reset, which basically started a couple years ago. Now, that's all well and good, but there's actually a lot more to the picture when we talk about the shot that I'm trying to hit, because players have now discovered, again over the last few years, that you can actually get multiple flip resets if you can somehow make your car hit its bottom on the ball in the air multiple times. And the primary way high-level players do this is by stalling. So let me explain really quick what stalling is. A stall is basically an air turn into a dodge, like a specific type of air turn where you air roll a certain way while turning your car the opposite way, and that creates something that we call a tornado spin. But if you dodge with your car turning exactly perfectly in a tornado spin, it has to be just right, then your car does what is called a stall. It actually stops in the air, breaking all of the rules of Rocket League physics. So high-level players like Evampel and Gainer, and I remember Sting back in the day stalling quite a bit, and others over the years have set out to perfect their skill of stalling under the ball to get multiple resets. So here are the components to the shot that I am actually trying to pull off. We've got a flip reset, which is very difficult in and of itself. We have a stall, very, very, very difficult in and of itself. Most players have to practice this for hours and hours before they can do it even relatively consistently. And then another flip reset from that stall. So you have to get the first reset, stall under the ball with your car positioned perfectly upside down, and stall, and that stall needs to make your car hit all of its wheels on the ball, then use that last reset to dodge into the ball, or as some do, just keep stalling over and over and over. over again. So that last part where you're stalling underneath the ball, that is very, 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 very difficult. So that's the breakdown, and for the longest time, I've basically just not practiced this until now. Rocket League for me is all about facing your fears, taking on challenges, trying new things. I'm done with this. Now, it all started where all good things start in Rocket League, in free play. But it turns out free play isn't the best place to work on this specific shot because you just spend so much time driving over to the ball. So I picked a custom training playlist made by Lachinio that also has you driving to the ball, just not quite as far. I don't know why I picked this, but I did. At this point, after working on it, I was somewhat consistently getting my reset and stalling, or trying to stall. But after a day, no joke, I did this for hours the first day, I didn't feel that much closer to getting a double flip reset. I couldn't even get the first reset a lot of times, let alone go further into hitting the ball solidly. I was stalling around the ball, not under the ball, and doing what I like to call the nudge. This is where you stall and you just sort of bonk the ball forwards. And this all comes down to positioning. I wasn't positioning my car under the ball correctly in line with the ball's momentum. And this is really hard. Like, you have to get the first reset, but you can't let your car fly beyond the ball or short of the ball. It has to just be such a perfect setup to then be able to fly underneath the ball after the reset. I also wasn't getting my first reset early enough. So it's easier to get a reset when the ball is well on its way down, because if it's on its way down, it's really easy to just sort of hit the ball with your car. Really what you need to do is be hitting the ball on its way up, which is very difficult, but that's sort of what you have to do, or your second stall will just smash the ball into oblivion due to its momentum. So you'll hit the ball with your car on the ball's way down, and you'll try to get another stall and you'll just sort of spank the ball out of your way and have no chance of getting that double reset. So here I was on day 2, and honestly, I still wasn't getting close to the stall double flip reset that I wanted. In fact, I was starting to struggle to stall at all. So I started forcing myself to stall into the ball before I set it up. Like, I'd drive at the ball and stall in the air and then set up the shot. And this honestly helped me get more consistent at stalling, which is what I needed. And I would recommend this if you're gonna try this. Just don't work on the shot for a little while and just go practice stalling over and over and over again. See if you can jump off of walls, off of ceilings, off of the goal, whatever, and just practice getting stalls and get to where you're really consistent at that. I should also say that I made 2 big commitments when I started this. I didn't want to switch my car to a car that is better suited for this, like the Breakout or maybe the Dominus. I wanted to stick with the Octane, and I also refused to switch my camera settings to something more like what DLG has or other people. I don't know, I didn't feel like doing that, and honestly, I think it set me back quite a bit. I did switch up my dead zone to 0.15 to be able to stall more consistently, but I don't know if that actually helped me. But then on day 3, I believe it was day 3, it happened. My first technical double flip reset, and I hit the GIF Your Game button to save it, celebrated a bit, and then I went and looked and saw something horrifying. Apparently the GIF didn't work. So I messaged GIF Your Game and they informed me that I could still get the replay downloaded. So I did that, and here's the footage of my sad first flip reset. Technically, it's right. It counted because I was able to get the reset from the stall, hit the ball into the goal without the ball hitting the ground, something I'd almost completed earlier, but the ball had hit the ground quite a few times. So I had done it kind of, but it wasn't clean enough. And even though this one stunk, I don't know. But I didn't actually realize that this GIF was retrievable in any way. So I practiced this for another day or so, and I hit some pretty juicy ones, I'm not gonna lie. This one in particular would have been way better than the first one, but I messed it up pretty bad. So similar to my last video trying to hit the double flip reset without a stall, after I hit it really bad, but successfully, and kept working on it, I started to get a lot better at it. It was starting to get easier, and I've hit quite a few nice double flip resets like that. So hopefully this ends up being the same as that. At this point, the stall is pretty easy for me. I know how to position myself. It's really just getting more consistent with the setup and really getting to where I can hit the second shot more consistently, or maybe even do 3 stalls or something like that. That would be kind of cool, but to do that, I definitely would need to change my camera settings. So if you want to keep up with this kind of stuff, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at FLuuMP, that's FLuuMP. And again, check out my Rocket League Mechanics Master Course to learn the more important stuff of Rocket League. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Maybe you learned something from it. Maybe you just found it fun. All right, peace out.